Here we go, setting
Let
up
it
your
itch.
meeting.
Let it itch.
It's going, it's going, it's going. We're making a mess, right?
That's how we learn, right?
Yeah,
That's how we
exactly.
go forward. We make messes. Otherwise, we will just
Exactly.
stay paralyzed.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I think that we are live. This is crazy. Here we go. Yeah, so we're streaming live on Facebook right now. What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's Bob Dzienis from the Devote Group, brokered by eXp Realty. I've got an awesome agent down in Orlando, Florida right now. This is Jennifer DeVivo. What's going on, Jennifer? How are you?
I'm doing good. I am
EXP
happy
in
to
the
be out.
house, right? EXP in the house.
That's right. That's right.
And you're
We're
literally
here.
in a house right now.
We are in a house.
Yeah.
A beautiful, gorgeous home.
So listen, what I wanted to do is just, hey, you know what? We've got this awesome technology. We've got, I just want to be able to show folks, especially in my areas. I'm up here in Bergen County in Westwood, New Jersey. It's 41 degrees. It's cold. It's raining. You're in Orlando. Last I checked the weather, it's like 71 degrees. It was a little rainy this morning, or what's going on down there?
It was beautiful yesterday, beautiful blue skies, and then this morning there was quite the thunderstorm and even a tornado watch. So that means that conditions are favorable. But then by the time 9 o'clock came around, it kind of calmed down, and that's kind of Florida sometimes. We have amazing sun, but then you could literally have a thunderstorm in 30 minutes, skies go black, and bam, the sun's out again.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let me, just a little story. I used to live in Miami. I went to school in Miami, so totally used to that weather. So totally get it. Totally get it. Back in the day.
In Miami, I remember saying like a meme where it's like you're on one side of the street and it's blue, and the other side of the street is like totally gray. That's true.
It is. It's totally true. It's totally true. So Jennifer, you're with EXP. So excited to do this with you, this little live stream today. You're going to take us through a house. Why don't you give us a little bit of background on yourself first? So how long have you been with EXP, or how long have you been a realtor? And then we'll get into where you're located. Sound good?
That sounds awesome. So I've been in real estate, doing residential real estate for about 14, 15 years, always in Orlando. Grew up in Orlando, and my parents were subcontractors in commercial real estate. So I literally got to see Orlando kind of come out of the ground. I remember when they built Epcot. I remember, when they built the Universal Studios, all kinds of really cool things. So I definitely consider myself a native, and it's just really cool to see how the city.
What are you, like an Orlandian? How do you say that? Like,
no, you say native, but I guess I don't know. Sometimes I guess I call myself an Orlandian. I guess
Floridian, Orlandian. I don't know.
Yeah. And I've been with EXP. Our brokerage was Exit Realty, and we were the top performing brokerage in Florida 3 years in a row. And then our awesome leader, fearless leader, Gil Ramos, connected with Veronica Figueroa and Todd Schroff and Carlos German, and our upline, and bam, we transferred over, and we've been running at an innovative breakneck pace ever since.
Yeah, awesome. Very cool. Very cool. So I'm so excited to do this with you. You got a cameraman there as well, and he's going to help and just kind of walk us around a little bit. So what I wanted to do was just talk about where you're located. You're in a town right now called Mount Dora, Florida. So where the heck is Mount Dora, Florida? I know it's near Orlando, but tell us where you're located.
Well, we call our hills mountains.
Okay. You need to come to New Jersey.
We're very flat. But Mount Dora is probably, I'd say, about 30 minutes from downtown Orlando, and maybe about 37 minutes to Disney. And so we have a lot of satellite cities. And in Orlando, they've built the kind of like a toll road that goes all the way around Orlando. It's almost complete, and it's opening up a lot of satellite cities because we're one of the fastest growing cities in the country. But you can easily get to the beach from Mount Dora in like maybe an hour, depending.
And you can go either direction, right? You can go to Cape Canaveral area, like Cocoa Beach, or you can go to Tampa, right? That area?
That's right. So sometimes if I want waves, I go to the East Coast because I like boogie boarding. But if I want to chill and relax, I go to the West Coast because it's relaxed. Some of the most beautiful beaches are over there. And Mount Dora itself is really cool. So Mount Dora is historical, a cool downtown Main Street, and very much known for the art festivals. Lots of really cool art festivals in Mount Dora.
Okay. Awesome. Yep. So I wasn't too sure about it. So there's like a downtown area and that kind of stuff, or is it kind of building up or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very eclectic. Like I was driving downtown and they had taken like a black beetle. I don't know if you saw this man, it's my cameraman, and he's amazing. And it was the Volkswagen beetle.
Right.
And they had painted it black and they had put big spider legs on it. So it's standing up over this building.
That's awesome.
So that's an example of the eclectic artistic nature of it. So if you're looking for a place that's kind of like free spirited, and it has a lot of history, and it also has a Lake Dora where you can go take tours of the lake. Lots of little places to eat. If you're a foodie, there's all kinds of really cool places to eat down here.
Okay. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I've got some friends who moved down there, not Mount Dora, but they're in the Villages. They moved down there, gosh, at least 10 years ago. So you're not too far from that area too, right?
Yeah, no, actually, Vance lives up there, not too far from the Villages. So I'm up there on the weekend sometimes, and the Villages, really cool, growing, and it's so cool because like everybody goes around on these really cool golf carts. And
they had them all like, I don't know, they got them all tricked out, right? They're awesome.
I went to the Walmart. They've got their own parking, and there was like a Model T. There was like a convertible. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I just want to shout out to them. That's Linda Leonforti, Richie Leonforti. What's up, guys? Yeah, I know you're Orlando natives now, so it's great to see you. So we've got some love on social media. I've got Laura Silborski, Christine Donald. We've got Antonio Fredalone as well. So people are joining. Thanks for watching, everybody. So Jennifer, why don't you so this is Mount Dora. This development that you're in is a new construction development. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got a lot of builders in Orlando, and we only have about 2 months supply. So it's, we need more homes, more communities. And so this particular builder here is very prolific. And they're one of the first builders to build what we call block on block. So the house that we're in today is 2 stories, and the construction is concrete block on the first floor going all the way up to the second floor. And I was born in Puerto Rico. So even though I call myself an Orlandian, I was born in Puerto Rico. And in the islands, that's what you do. Everything is concrete. So as some of the hurricanes, everybody asks me, hey, Jen, what about hurricanes? Well, everybody from the coasts comes to Orlando. We are the place that people come to when they want to get away from the coast when there's a strong storm.
Right.
But storms are getting stronger. So that's why this particular builder, I really love that they've incorporated concrete block all the way up.
Okay, awesome. And is, I remember I had friends who lived in the Cocoa Beach area. I used to go visit them all the time. Everything was there like a ranch style, like a single floor style. So is 2 floors little unusual for Orlando? Is that just let's say the Florida market itself, or does it really depend?
Yeah, I mean, the ranch style was really popular in the 80s and the 50s. And ever since the 1990s, you've seen a lot of stuff go up as property got more expensive, as land got more expensive, people wanted bigger homes. And the only way to do that was to go up. So there are a lot of 2-story homes. In fact, I've always lived in a 2-story home. One of the really popular types of 2-story homes right now, which is not this one, but are the cathedral ceiling ones. So you'll have cathedral ceilings going all the way up to the second floor, beautiful skylights, and then you'll also have a second floor with a loft that often overlooks your first floor. Gotcha.
Awesome. All right. So Jennifer, what I'd like you to do, why don't you take us around and just show us this beautiful house if you could. Is this the 3524 Crimson Clover Drive? Is that this one?
Yes. And so this one is going to be about 2,800 square feet. It's going to be about 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms with a loft space. And one of the things that people ask me a lot is, hey, Jen, where's the master? There are plans with the master on the first floor, and there are plans with the master on the second floor. There's even what we call a generational family home that is not in this one, but it's on my YouTube channel. And it has its own apartment. So you go to the utility area, and there's its own apartment and its own entrance. So
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so why don't you just take us through if you could? This is the kitchen that you're in, obviously.
Yeah, right. So this
I don't know what gave it away. Maybe it was the stove and the microwave. I have no idea.
Right. So all my ladies are like, Jen, I want a kitchen, and I want it to be white, and I want it to have the nice granite countertops. This is what most of my ladies are wanting. It's kind of like the farmhouse kitchen look, where you've got the white cabinets. They go 42 inches up and very, very open. One of the things that's really important is for people to kind of sit. And I don't know if you guys have what your building is like up there, but us Floridians kind of like it light and bright and open.
Yeah,
and then
open like this. More and more people want open.
What was that, Bob?
More and more people are definitely looking for open space like this. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then you got your double sinks over here. You got your eat-in space. So you can kind of do all your entertaining out this way. Another thing that people really love about the flooring here is its tile. So if you're in the Florida area, we do get hot, right? So a nice tile floor is easy to clean. We have sand, it's Florida, but having the tile, especially on the first floor, is really nice.
Yeah.
The other thing you may not see as we go out, we have a lot of homes that have conservation lots on them. So this particular home has a really beautiful green space behind it with no rear neighbors. So that's something you can always ask for if you don't want to have like a house right behind you.
And Jen, so this development, people can customize as they want, right? You're working with the builder to put your home together, basically. Is this a model home that's available that you're in right now?
This one is available, and you have a couple different ways with this builder.
Okay.
You can do what's called a spec home, and that's design it from scratch. That's the most expensive way, right? Because you're making it your own.
Yeah.
And then you have express. The express homes already come with a lot of the features included, and then you can choose, well, I want express home A or express home B. That's going to be a little bit cheaper. You're not really picking anything out. And then we have inventory homes. Inventory homes are ones you can make more of an offer on. Maybe the buyer walked away. Maybe the builder has an extra house that they just built. So if you're looking for a deal, that house that, for example, didn't get purchased is something where you can get a deal.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. All right. So it's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Really, and the colors are, grays and whites and.
Does it come with the furniture? I love how it's decorated.
The furniture, you can always get really great decor tips. So if you're like, you know what, I don't know what I want to do with my house. We have definitely people who kind of troll the models. And me, myself, every time I'm in a model home, like one of the things that you can do that people, when they get into a house like this, and there's a lot of open space, and they don't have a model, they don't have furniture, they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to break up the space. So just one of the things you can do to break up space in an open floor plan is by using your rugs to differentiate. Otherwise, it's going to look all just kind of uniform.
That's a great idea.
So on the way over here, this one has the master upstairs. But the cool thing is that if you needed to have a guest or if you need somebody who can't go up the stairs, this one has what we would call either a study or an additional bedroom. It does have the closets. So in Florida, and I don't know how you guys are, but we need to have closet and a door for it to actually be a bedroom.
Yeah, that's hit or miss. That definition up here, I don't know. It's always so hit or miss when we're trying to sell a house, but it depends on what our tax record says. So.
Right, exactly.
So.
Well, we're going to be putting out kind of like a spoof. Can you see yourself quarantined here?
Right.
So,
right. Yeah. Now, what's great about this is that you have a full bath off this study, which is fantastic, right? So you could, if there was someone who, let's say, just didn't want stairs, this is an option for them.
Yeah, and it's really sequestered on its own side of the house. All of the other bedrooms are upstairs.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I love having guests, but I love for them to have their own space.
Right.
And it kind of gives yourself a sense of privacy.
Gotcha. Hey, Jem, is there a typical price point? Does it really depend on, how you customize these?
So the average price of a home in Orlando is about $275.
Okay.
And since these are a little further out, but still in Mount Dora is still in Orange County. Orange County is the main county of Orlando. Downtown Orlando is located in Orange County. So even though you never heard of it, it's still part of Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And so these start in the 270s, and just depending on the square footage and everything, they can go up into the 300s, the mid 300s.
Okay. And, folks up here, they want to know about amenities. So
amenities
are offered in this development. Is there a pool? Is there a gym? Like all that stuff?
This one definitely has, this area definitely has the pool, and amenities are galore. So what your question is if you're thinking about Florida, and the biggest thing you want to think about is your monthly homeowners association. Typically the locals like me, we're like, you know what, we don't need, a community that has a golf course, that has pools, that has restaurants. I mean, you can go to all inclusive. So there are communities, and they're closer to Disney, that you can have your restaurants inside, water parks inside, activities inside. You don't have to leave. There's one, that has its own town center in it.
Yeah,
so
it's self-contained, right? It's self-contained, right?
It's almost self-contained. And then, or you can just go to the point where you're like, you know what, I just want to be able to have walking trails, and I just want to be able to have a big pool area. So this one definitely has trails, pool area, and lots of green spaces.
Okay, cool. All right, why don't you just take us around a little bit more, maybe just upstairs, if we can go take a look at some of the bedrooms up there.
Yes, let's go take a look.
Awesome. This has a garage as well?
This one has a 2-car garage, and typically, I'll show you something because I know you guys are a little different.
We're a lot different.
Right? We have hot water heaters. I know you guys maybe have a little different. We have gas communities and electric communities, and our air conditioners they have AC and heat. So we don't have necessarily, I guess, what do you guys have? Like furnaces?
Yeah, we'll have a furnace typically, and it's not usually forced air. It depends on the house. Sometimes it's forced air through a system. Some of us might have steam, and we use a furnace to heat up the water. So
okay.
Yeah.
And one other thing, really quick here, a lot of them come with smart homes, so they will come with an app, and the alarm will be connected. You can connect your lighting, your electronics. So there's different smart home systems.
Cook dinner for you,
right?
We're getting there.
You can have a standing order, like program, like every Thursday night, I need Domino's pizza.
Right. All right, cool. Take us upstairs. Let's go see upstairs. Oh wait, go ahead.
Every once in a while, really quick, we have clients that want a dining room.
Yeah.
So you can do the open floor plan, or you can have a house that has its own separate dining room. I'm a family person, so I really love having a dining room table, but it's not for everybody, we know, but it is something that you can do.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
Heading up the stairs.
Now let me ask you, I remember, I've seen well, it looks like there's carpeting and stuff. So is carpeting pretty typical on a second floor for these homes?
Yeah, it's really hard to do the tile. I'm one of the few people that I know that actually has tile on my second floor, but we actually had to put in like a concrete board, because if you have tile on your second floor, you are going to have a very loud house, especially if you have kids.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I really love about 2-story homes are the loft areas. This is great for kids, movie rooms, your personal workout space, whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want it to be.
So let's take a look at the master.
Okay. I can't wait to see this. I bet it's going to be amazing.
And one last thing over here, you have your washer dryer. A lot of them are upstairs now, so that way you don't have to run down to the garage or run down to a utility. It's all up here.
We're seeing that more and more up here actually too, right? So either it's in the master bedroom, like in the closet sometimes, or they actually have like a separate space for the washer and dryer where the bedrooms are. I mean, why the heck go all the way downstairs to do your clothes? Right?
Going down, like crabbing all those things. I'm like, you know what? No.
Yeah.
I actually like what they used to do in the old days, where they would like pull out like a lever.
And a shoot. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So this is the master. You're taking us into the master?
So this is the master, and it is huge.
It looks gigantic.
Beautiful. The question people want to know is, can I put my king size bed?
I was just going to ask you, can a California king go in there?
This is a king. I don't know if it's a Cali king.
Okay.
But it's definitely really big, and there's enough space.
You have a ton of space, even with a king. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. Is that like a grayish color? Is it painted gray? It looks like a light gray in there.
It's a light gray with the beige. Gray is like the new, the new standard. So the new neutral. There we go.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And we've got really, really a very large master bathroom.
Wow. That's gigantic. So you've got, that's a shower, walk-in shower.
So you got your walk-in shower. They kind of went a little skimpy on this one because it's like a plastic insert, but you could definitely bang it out with tile.
Yep. Okay.
And then you've got two closets. You've got his closet, a small closet, and his closet.
I think they're both hers, don't you?
There you go, in the her closet, my closet.
Right. Wow, it looks gigantic. A lot of space in there.
That's one of the biggest things that we, the master is really important for people because the downstairs kitchen, that area is where you're going to spend a lot of your time. And we'll show you one last bedroom over here. And then your master. So that's, that's kind of like your sanctuary.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So you've got the master and you've got 3 bedrooms up here. This one is really cute. So for those of you guys that have little girls, usually you'll have one stage for a little girl, really great princess ideas. As you get down to Disney, if you're interested in having a short-term vacation or second home, a lot of the houses are real Disney.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you one of those one day.
Okay.
And you can find up here in the last bedroom.
Is that like the Celebration neighborhood? Is that what you mean?
Celebration was kind of built to be like the quintessential American dream.
Right.
So you don't really see a lot of Disney there, but in a place like Encore, which is one of the, come on in, Encore, which is a resort style community. Man, you got Minnie Mouse bedrooms, bathrooms.
Okay. You might have to show me one of those places. I would love to see that. I got a lot of Disney. A lot of my followers are Disney fans here, so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There is one that I really want to see in Encore, and they custom built it, and it looks like a replica of the castle, of the Disney castle. Really?
Oh my God.
And they even did stained glass windows. So the stained glass windows have scenes from Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. It's crazy.
That's crazy. So this is how many bedrooms again? 3?
So this one is going to be 4. Okay, so we've got 4, and we've got a study downstairs, so almost a 5.
Wow.
And
awesome.
they depend. So sometimes you can do a 4-3, or you can do a 5-3.5. So you have some change depending on your needs of your family.
Gotcha. And how are taxes in Orlando in regards to like property taxes and that kind of stuff? Like, what about in this development? How might that work?
So that's a very, very good question. What you really want to worry about is the CDD. That's
CDD?
the community. Yes, the Community Development District.
Okay.
So since we're fastest growing in the country, one of the fastest growing cities, we have whole cities coming out of the ground with like 10 builders and a town center, and it's all being built at one time. Okay. So there is things that are not there, right? Because this was once, just cow land. We have a lot of cow land. So we're having to build things like schools, shopping centers, fire stations. And so, what there is a bond, and it's called a CDD bond, and it's a 30-year bond, and that becomes attached to your taxes. So in a community like this, Mount Dora is an established community. It's been here forever. It's historical. You can kind of build a community, into the pre-existing infrastructure and have pretty regular taxes, which are about $2,500 to $3,500. But in a community, $2,500,
$2,500. Oh my God.
For the year, $2,500 to $3,500 for the whole year. I know you guys have crazy taxes. I forgot about that.
It depends on the town. Some of them are like 30. It depends on the town. So, wow.
Yeah. So I would say our most expensive town is Windermere. And that's where like Tiger Woods has lived and Shaquille O'Neal, and there's all the multi-million-dollar homes. And those taxes can range from anywhere from 7 to 15 or 30,000. That for us would be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Awesome.
But with the community development, we have Lake Nona, which is the medical city. It's like the Silicon Valley for medical area. There's an additional $3,000 or so on your taxes every year for the CDD.
Okay, good to know. I think we have to move to Florida. What the hell?
Well, don't forget, right? No income tax.
Right.
And also we have something called homestead. So when a lot of the retirees first came to Florida, they had fixed incomes. And what would happen is property taxes kept going up, and all the retirees were like, wait a second, We all know
Yeah.
our retirees vote. So they vote.
Right. Right.
They voted
Right.
for something called homestead exemption. So when you purchase a home here as your primary residence only, your tax is capped at 3% per year increase. So your
Okay.
taxes will never go up more than 3% per year.
Okay. All right. Good to know. And Jennifer, you were telling me before we got on live here just about some of the, I guess, the rates and things in regards to purchasing in this development. So you want to talk a little bit about that and then maybe show us the outside, and that would be
Yeah, why
awesome.
don't we
But
come out and we'll take a look on the outside
cool.
as we talk numbers. Right now, builders are very, very motivated to sell because, you know, during every difficult thing, there's a silver lining, right?
Yep. Yep.
So some sellers might just take their homes off the market and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to wait. But builders aren't like that. Builders have shareholders, especially larger builders. They have to keep moving property. And some of the bigger builders have money. So what they're doing is they are creating some awesome incentives. So with this particular builder, they are giving $10,000 to pay for your closing costs.
Oh yeah.
They're
Wow.
also buying down the rate to 2.99, and in some communities 2.5. So
That's fantastic.
$10,000 to pay your closing costs, buying down the rate, and then of course they're giving and you get a free refrigerator, and you get wine.
Yeah, you get all Oprah, right? Yeah, that's awesome. Great incentives, right? Absolutely.
We don't normally see these kind of incentives in Orlando at this time of year. Typically, with the growth, when we are coming to new construction and we walk in and the builder says, hey, the house is priced X in the month of May. Next month, we're going to increase by 2,500. They will do increases all the way to September. And then kids go back to school, market kind of calms down. Right. But we're not seeing that this year. I've gotten so many calls from builders, emails from builders, asking me to come out and showcase their community and giving lots and lots of bonuses to my clients.
Okay. You know, Jennifer, before one question for you.
Yeah.
Yes, I have one question for you. So I have a couple of friends who purchased down in Florida, and they purchased, I guess it was kind of a more difficult time. There were all these stories about just, you know, properties, people foreclosing on properties. There are a lot of issues in the market. Like what is happening now in the Orlando market? Is there confidence in that market? It seems like it with what you're showing us here, and a lot of communities are building up here. So how's the market been flexing, and what's been happening?
So during that time, the time of the 2008 housing crash, there was very little regulation. We used to say, if you have a DNA sample and a heartbeat, you're approved.
Right, right. Yeah.
But now, ever since that happened, banks have learned, and there are tighter guidelines. So banks are still lending. Banks still want to lend. However, for what they're doing is they are raising the credit score. So in order to get those bonuses that we talked about, and in order to qualify for a loan now, you're looking at having at least a 640 score, and they want to see solid documentation, and they will, you know, they will go forward and proceed that way.
Okay. Okay. So an inventory itself in the Orlando market, has it, I know there was, from what I had read, and I know nothing about it, right? So
you're doing good.
But your expertise has been awesome. I mean, just giving us perspective, because you read a lot of stories, but I heard there was a lot of inventory just in Florida in general. Are people purchasing now? Like, what's going on with inventory?
I don't know about that. We are still getting multiple offers on property this week.
Good to know. Good to know.
And we have been in a housing shortage for a few years here. So we've only had about 2 to 3 months, maybe 4 months. Right now, we're sitting about 2 to 3 months of inventory on the market. And that's because in the last few years, and projected, of course, now there's been a disruption, but we've had 60,000 people coming into Central Florida, the Orlando area every year, 1,700 people per week.
Wow.
And it's a supply and demand.
It's hopping. It's hopping. It's busy. Yeah.
It's still busy. People, you know, in real estate, people still have to move. People get job relocations. People's families, you know, grow. People decide to go separate ways. So that's why we're still an essential worker here in the Orlando area. And there is a pent-up demand. I still have buyers saying, how can I see houses now? What can I do? I need to get out of this lease. This landlord is driving me crazy. So what I would say is, Our inventory right now is in the Central Florida market, because that's what I cover. I don't do North Florida and I don't do the Miami market. Is definitely tight.
Good to know. Okay. Thank you for that, because I know that there's been some concerns with a couple of friends of mine who were like, they bought properties and now they're renting them out, and should we sell it? And the market wasn't looking so good and all that kind of stuff. So
well,
I have
with renters and investors,
I'm excited.
Yeah, with renters and investors, we have had almost twice the increase in the rent in Orlando than we have in the rest of the country.
Okay.
So if I was a renter, if I was an investor, I would say, yes, of course, there's going to be people who want to rent. Obviously, they need to be essential workers. And you may not be pushing as high of a rent as you did, but there is a demand. Even now, I have some of my renters saying, you know what, Jen, where can I don't want to be in an apartment. I want to rent a house, but there's no houses available. And that's been a problem for a long time.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right. And actually, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
beautiful. I just wanted to point right over that way.
The grass is so green.
We're getting our rain. We needed it. It was like so dry. And the pool is right over there. Nice big pool, plenty of amenities, nice green spaces. And this particular community, like you see, is probably over halfway sold out.
Okay.
So just really pretty, and you've got 441 right out there, which is kind of like a mini highway, and that'll take you right to the 429 in 7 minutes. You hop on if you want to go to downtown, want to go to Disney, want to go to the beaches, but you're still secluded.
Nice. And another question just popped into my head. Can people rent these properties if they wanted to? Is there some kind of a stipulation that you have to live there a certain time or anything like that?
That's a really great question. So there's two kind of communities in the Orlando area. There are regular residential where you need to rent at least 7 months or more. And then there are short-term zoned communities. And you see that zoning more in South Orlando, Osceola, Kissimmee, the Disney area. So in those communities, you can rent something out, Airbnb for 1 day. If you wanted to rent for less than 7 months and you're in Orange County and Seminole County, there are more traditional communities, family-oriented communities. Okay. You're taking a little bit of a risk. I know people who do it.
Yeah. Right.
I know a lot of people who do it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's a higher risk.
But it's a higher risk, and of course you can do it. And you just want to make sure that if you want to be lower risk, make sure you buy short-term in a short-term zone community.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. All right, Jennifer, let's see the front. I'm dying to see this house. Let's see the outside of it.
You may not hear me as well. I'm going to walk through the trees here.
That's okay. Be careful. Watch out for those heels. Don't break a heel.
Oh, I'm good in heels. I can do a lot in heels.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And this is the Hayden, again, about 26 to 2,800 square feet. And then this one's the Cali. It's a smaller one, about 1,500 square feet. I've sold a lot of Calis to my investors.
Okay.
My investors usually want to be either by Disney or the Lake Nona, which is the medical corridor. We also have manufacturing corridor. There's that we could definitely, that's coming out of the ground. It's a 50-year project for nanotechnology. So those are areas that you can, as an investor, decide, hey, you know what? I want to put a house there because it's going to be a big employment demand over 50 years.
Okay. And one thing I noticed with this house, right? So the bushes are in front of the garage. They're going to put a driveway there, right?
Yes. And then of course the sales center is in the garage, right?
Okay. Because that makes sense.
Right. Going to stay there forever and ever, but they will sell out every once in a while. What we call a unicorn comes prancing through the woods.
Right.
And we see that one of the models will go up for sale at a discount. And you can get all the furniture in it, or you can buy the model when the builder's still in it, and they'll do a lease back for 2 years for you.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So Jennifer, listen, thank you so much for taking us on this tour. Do you prefer Jen or Jennifer? I feel like calling you.
If you're buying a house in Orlando, I'm Jen. Jennifer, Jenny.
Jenny from the block, Jenny from Orlando, whatever. Yeah. That's awesome. Listen, Jen DeVivo, it was such a pleasure to talk to you. I really appreciate this. We've got people who are looking in that area. I know who to refer them to. And if any of my friends who are down there have questions, I'm definitely going to
hold on. We got a big
about
truck
you
going
as
by.
well. So it was so much fun chatting with you. I really
I'm
appreciate it.
sorry, I missed that because they're still building here. I didn't hear you. A huge truck went
Oh,
by.
okay. No, I was just thanking you so much. I've got, friends who are down there who might have some real estate questions. I'll definitely refer them to you. I appreciate that. And we've got folks up here too who are maybe considering a move down to that area. So listen, I appreciate all that you've done. It was great chatting with you. Anything you want to close with before we end this broadcast?
I work with people and give them advice anywhere from a year to 2 years out. I love my New Yorkers and my New Jersey. I've got a lot of family up there. So if you ever wanted to come, I do like a 3 community tour in an afternoon. We go to 3 awesome communities because a lot of times you got to come down here and see it and then go back up there and think about it.
Absolutely.
So I totally understand that. And then we can do something like we're doing right now and just walk through and do a private virtual tour for you. So just
Awesome.
reach out to Bob and he'll connect you to me.
Absolutely. And if not, I got you tagged on this video, so let's get you some love out there, all right?
I'm sending love back from Orlando.
Nice. We want the warm weather. Hopefully it'll happen soon. So, Jen,
probably
be
like
safe.
in 5 minutes. Right now we don't have it. In 5 minutes the sun's going to come out.
Right. Jennifer, be safe. Thank you so much for doing this. And, we'll keep chatting, okay?
All right. Thanks for having me. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much.